So there are numerous foodborne pathogens that cause diarrheal illness in the United States. However, Salmonella is one of the major poultry-associated foodborne pathogens. It's linked to the consumption of contaminated poultry products with the pathogen. And in general, broiler chickens, they act as a reservoir for Salmonella contamination where the pathogen colonizes the birds in high number. And then upon slaughter, if these birds have the pathogen within their gut contents, this leads to carcass contamination. So during the poultry processing continuum specifically, there are numerous critical control steps that are undertaken to control this Salmonella contamination on post-harvest poultry products.
Welcome to another episode of the Poultry Nutrition Blackbelt Podcast. I'm your host today, Dr. Kelly Walmsley, and I'm joined by Jodie Allen. Hi, Jodie.
Good morning, Dr. Walmsley. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for joining us today.
Good to be here. Yes, thank you.
Excited to get to know you a little bit and then also learn about some of the work that you've been doing. So you're a Ph.D. candidate in the Department of Animal Science at University of Connecticut. Tell us a little bit about some of your experience there.
Yes. So as you mentioned, currently I'm a PhD candidate at UConn, and I want to give some of my educational background as well. So I obtained my Bachelor's of Science in Animal Science also from UConn, and thereafter I obtained my master's degree also at UConn as well in food microbiology and safety in animal science. And my research and my master's program focused on controlling Salmonella in post-harvest poultry products such as shelled eggs and broiler meat. My experience at UConn has, I would say, been phenomenal. We have a wide range of programs that is tailored towards all students. And also we have an amazing dairy bar ice cream there as well. And our animal science department is a very warm and welcoming environment. And I appreciate all the activities that are hosted on campus. So it's a really great experience.
All right, let's dive on in. We're going to talk about some of the research that you've been working on recently. And it's around Salmonella control and post-harvest poultry products and using phytochemicals. So can you give us a little bit of background about what a phytochemical is, and then and specifically about nanoemulsions?
Yes, most definitely. So before going into the research specifics, I just want to give some context as to why we're conducting the research in the first place. So there are numerous foodborne pathogens that cause diarrheal illness in the United States. However, Salmonella is one of the major poultry-associated foodborne pathogens. It's linked to the consumption of contaminated poultry products with the pathogen. And in general, broiler chickens, they act as a reservoir for Salmonella contamination where the pathogen colonizes the birds in high number. And then upon slaughter, if these birds have the pathogen within their gut contents, this leads to carcass contamination. So during the poultry processing continuum specifically, there are numerous critical control steps that are undertaken to control this Salmonella contamination on post-harvest poultry products. And one specific critical control point is immersion chilling or carcass chilling of broiler carcass. So this is when a broiler carcass is immersed in an ice water mix in the presence of a USDA approved antimicrobial, and it's used to decontaminate the broiler carcass. So where my research comes in, we are utilizing a phytochemical. So it is a secondary metabolite derived from plant sources, and they have been researched for phenomenal antimicrobial efficacy. However, one of the challenges with incorporating this phytochemical as an antimicrobial is its low dispersity in water. So my research focuses on using encapsulation technology to entrap these phytochemicals into a nanoparticle so that we can use it as a carcass sanitizer to reduce Salmonella on poultry products.
Okay, great. Thank you. So in that line, then, you've done some of the research with these phytochemicals. So have you done work with comparing them to some of the currently available sanitizers? I mean, think about chlorine. What else is out there?
Yeah, so most definitely. So we know, well, currently the most widely used commercial sanitizer available is parasitic acid. It's used by the poultry industry to decontaminate broiler carcasses. And we have conducted some research comparing our phytochemicals against parasitic acid, and we found interesting and very promising results where we found that the nanoemulsion form of the phytochemical is even more effective than parasitic acid in reducing that Salmonella bacterial load on broiler carcasses.
And so when we're talking about reducing the salmonella load, typically you get excited about like a 1 log reduction, right? So what did you kind of see with commercial product versus your specific product?
So in regards to commercial products such as parasitic acid, so we observed specifically a 1 log reduction. However, in comparison to the phytochemical nanoemulsions specifically, they were granting at least a 3 log reduction, a 3 log kill, as compared to our control. And in comparison to parasitic acid, it was a 1.5 log additional reduction as compared to parasitic acid. So definitely more effective than the commercial sanitizer. And we're seeing promising results with that.
That's interesting. So when you think about something being effective and from a food safety standpoint, then you think about, okay, well, I mean, it's good as that it's salmonella free or reduced contamination, but does it still taste good? So does it impact anything from a food texture standpoint, color, anything like that? Taste?
Yes, so definitely, as these phytochemicals, they're really potent and strong in their aroma, and they can inflict, effects on the product quality, such as color, as you mentioned, texture, flavor, and so forth, the overall acceptability of the product. And currently, we are in the process of determining if these phytochemical nanoemulsion inflict any color changes on the broiler surface. However, there are currently available literature out there that have tested eugenol nanoemulsions or phytochemical nanoemulsions specifically and they found that, there's no impact of these phytochemical nanoemulsions on the product color. So we are thinking to simulate that study design as per these previous researchers and see if our results compare in regards to those studies.
Great. Interesting. So then the last question then would be, okay, how much does it cost? Is it worthwhile from a cost standpoint too?
Yes. So as I mentioned, we are trying to implement this phytochemical nanoemulsion in the chill tank environment. So that means it's going to require a large quantity of the phytochemical nanoemulsion, and therefore we want to make sure that it's feasible to the industry. And in order to do that, we have to conduct a cost benefit analysis where we're kind of looking at the breakdown expenditure and to see how our cost is comparing to what the currently available commercial sanitizer that's there. So cost is really important. We don't want our technology to be more expensive as compared to what is available. So that is important.
Ready for more sustainable poultry production? New data suggests that decreasing bacterial loads in feed using Termin 8 supports enteric health, leading to improved performance. Gut health is more than a gut instinct. Learn more today at www.anitox.com.
So promising results, still a little more room to see where, more digging in, more research that's needed. But definitely on the surface seems like these nanoemulsions can be, a phytochemical can be pretty effective in post-harvest poultry products. So application in the chiller.
Yes, definitely.
I don't normally work with post-harvest parts, so.
Yeah, I'm also in pre-harvest as well. Like my Ph.D. research is focused on using these phytochemical nanoemulsions as well in poultry drinking water. So I've done a little bit of pre-harvest work as well.
So I'm sure that we'll be able to find your links to your research and all of that on your LinkedIn page, and I think within the bio whenever this is posted. So anything else you want to leave listeners or viewers with today?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank WesNX for having me on this platform. It's great visibility for students, and I highly encourage it. 100%. You can showcase your research. And I also want to thank you, Dr. Wamsley, for reserving time to meet with me today. And yeah, it's amazing. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. Appreciate you taking the time too. And it was a pleasure getting to meet and chat with you today and hear about your research. So
thank you so much.
All right. Well, then that concludes another episode of the Poultry Nutrition Blackbelt Podcast. Thanks, Jodie, for joining us today. And I'm your host, Kelly Wamsley. We'll see you next time.